Everything travel blogs tell you about visiting Florida is designed to drain your wallet and destroy your trip. That must-do activity everyone recommends, locals avoid it like poison. I've watched thousands of tourists fall into the same 15 traps, and the worst one seems completely harmless. Florida looks like paradise. Sunshine, palm trees, crystal clear water everywhere you look. But this state has secrets that can turn your dream vacation into a nightmare faster than you can say, "Where's the nearest hospital?" Let's start with something that kills tourists every single year. You see that beautiful lake behind your hotel? Don't even think about it. Florida has over 1.3 million alligators. That's not a typo. They live in every single county, and they're hiding in basically every freshwater body, including those cute little retention ponds in suburban neighborhoods. But here's what really keeps locals awake at night. Ever heard of Naegleria fowleri? It's a brain-eating amoeba that lives in warm, fresh water. Sounds like a horror movie, right? Well, it's real, and infections are 97% fatal. There's no cure. Those canals look refreshing on a hot day. They're designed for drainage, not swimming. Bacteria, chemicals, and things you don't want to meet are down there. Stick to designated swimming areas at state parks, beaches, and natural springs. If you see a no swimming sign in Florida, that's not a suggestion. That's Florida trying to save your life. Speaking of timing your trip wrong, hurricane season runs from June through November. Peak storm activity, August and September. That's when the big ones love to show up uninvited. Here's what catches tourists off guard. Summer in Florida means afternoon thunderstorms every single day. Like clockwork, between 2 and 5 p.m., the sky opens up and dumps rain like someone turned on a fire hose. Plan your outdoor activities for mornings, or you'll be running for cover with wet shoes and a ruined mood. Now, those discounted hotel rates during hurricane season look tempting. I get it. But one evacuation order and your entire trip vanishes. No beach, no theme parks. Just you arguing with airline customer service. Travel insurance costs $50 to $150. Seems like a waste until a Category 4 cancels your flight and you're out $3,000. Suddenly that insurance looks like the smartest money you ever spent. And lightning? Florida leads the nation in lightning deaths. When thunder rumbles, get inside immediately. Not after the rain starts, not after you finish your drink, now. But weather isn't the only thing that'll drain your wallet faster than expected. Wait until you see what theme parks charge at full price. Nobody pays full price for theme parks. Well, nobody smart does. Disney World charges up to $189 for a single day. That's more than my first car payment. But here's what the parks don't advertise. Buy 4 days instead of 1, and suddenly you're paying $60 per day. Same rides, same overpriced churros, 40% less damage to your wallet. Universal runs, buy 2 days, get 2 free deals constantly. The catch? You got to book through their website a few weeks ahead. Most tourists don't bother looking, and those authorized resellers like Undercover Tourist, completely legitimate. 5 to 10% off, no strings attached. I've used them myself. Now here's one that surprises people. Military discounts are everywhere. SeaWorld, free. Disney, 40% off. Always ask at the gate before pulling out your credit card. CityPass bundles 5 attractions for what you'd pay for 2 individually. It's almost embarrassing how much money tourists leave on the table. But saving money on tickets won't matter if Florida's toll roads drain your bank account first. And trust me, that system is designed to confuse you. Florida's toll roads will absolutely drain your wallet if you don't understand how they work. Here's the thing. There are no toll booths anymore. None. Zero. The whole state went electronic, which sounds convenient until you miss a toll and get slapped with a $25 violation fee. Do that 3 times in one trip, and you've just bought yourself an expensive lesson. Rental car companies love clueless tourists. They charge $15 to $20 per day for their toll pass programs, whether you use toll roads or not. A week-long rental, that's over $100 in fees before you've paid a single toll. The fix is embarrassingly simple. Walk into any Publix or CVS and grab a SunPass for about $5. Takes 2 minutes to set up. Saves you 25% on every toll compared to the rental company's toll-by-plate system. Already have EasyPass from up north? Good news. It works on most Florida roads. My first Florida trip, I ignored the tolls completely. Got a bill 3 months later for $240. Could have been 40 with a $5 transponder, but tolls aren't the only hidden costs waiting for you. Orlando is basically a giant theme park with a city attached. You could spend 2 weeks there and never see actual Florida. Not the real one, anyway. The Florida Keys feel like another country. Key West has this laid-back island vibe where chickens literally roam the streets. Snorkel at John Pennekamp Park, and you'll see more colorful fish than any aquarium. Plus, the seafood, caught that morning. Then there's St. Augustine. 500 years of history packed into cobblestone streets and Spanish colonial architecture. You can walk everywhere, grab a drink at America's oldest bar, and actually learn something. My grandfather loves this place more than his recliner, but here's what most tourists miss entirely. The Gulf Coast beaches have sand so white it squeaks when you walk on it. Siesta Key consistently ranks among the best beaches in America. The water stays warm enough to actually swim in, unlike that Atlantic side that'll freeze your toes off in February. And the Everglades, just an hour from Miami. Airboat rides, wild alligators, landscapes that exist nowhere else on Earth. Speaking of saving money on these adventures, there's a toll road situation you need to understand first. Red tide. 2 words that can ruin your entire beach vacation. This algae bloom kills fish by the thousands, washes them up on shore, and releases toxins that make your eyes burn and your lungs feel like you smoked a pack of cigarettes. I've seen tourists show up to beautiful Sarasota beaches only to find dead fish covering the sand like a depressing carpet. Could have checked the FWC website in 30 seconds. Didn't. Then there's jellyfish season from March through October. Portuguese man-o'-war stings send people to the hospital screaming. Fun stuff. But here's what actually kills people. Rip currents. They cause 80% of beach rescues in Florida. Strong swimmers, weak swimmers, doesn't matter. These underwater conveyor belts drag you out faster than you can panic. Those colored flags on the beach, not decoration. Purple means something in the water wants to hurt you. Red means stay out. Double red means the beach is literally closed. And one more thing. Sharks feed at dawn, dusk, and in murky water near inlets. Early morning swims feel peaceful until they aren't. Check conditions before you go. Speaking of hidden costs nobody warns you about, Florida loves to advertise no state income tax like they're doing you a favor. What they don't mention, they get that money back from you another way. Every single purchase gets hit with 6% state sales tax. But wait, there's more. Local counties add their own cut, pushing most areas to 7 or 8.5% total. Now here's where tourists really get squeezed. Hotels in Orlando and Miami Beach pile on resort taxes, tourism development taxes, and whatever else they can dream up. Your $200 room suddenly costs $226. That 13% hotel tax hits different when you're staying for a week. Restaurants charge tax on your food and separate tax on alcohol in some counties. Order dinner with drinks and watch those fees multiply like rabbits. But the real kicker? Rental cars. The base rate looks reasonable until airport fees, local taxes, and tourism surcharges add 40 to 50% on top. A $30 per day rental becomes $45 faster than you can say budget blown. One money-saving tip most tourists miss entirely: grocery stores don't tax most food items. Speaking of hidden costs, your hotel location can drain your wallet in ways you'd never expect. Here's the thing about Florida hotels. Location matters more than price. Way more. International Drive in Orlando looks perfect on the map. Central, affordable, tons of restaurants. But actually staying there, you're stuck in bumper-to-bumper traffic just trying to reach anything worth visiting. An hour commute to Disney, 45 minutes to Universal. It's like booking a hotel in New Jersey and calling it a New York trip. Miami Beach south of 5th Street sounds glamorous until 3 a.m. hits. That's when the club bass starts thumping through your wall. Sleep? Forget about it on weekends. And those cheap Kissimmee hotels along Highway 192, they advertise 5 minutes from Disney, which technically isn't lying. But the neighborhood looks like it hasn't been updated since 1987. Run-down strip malls, sketchy motels, constant traffic noise. Here's my trick. Google Street View. Always. Take a virtual walk around any hotel before booking. That beachfront paradise might sit next to a construction site or abandoned building. Downtown areas seem logical but empty out after dark in most Florida cities. But speaking of things that seem logical, respecting wildlife should be obvious. Except tourists keep making the same dangerous mistakes. Florida wildlife isn't like the squirrels in your backyard. These animals can actually hurt you, and the state takes protecting them seriously. Feeding an alligator, that's a felony. $500 fine and up to 60 days in jail. Why so harsh? Because a fed gator loses its fear of humans. It starts associating people with food, then it becomes a problem gator that has to be killed. You're not being nice. You're signing its death warrant. Manatees get even more protection. Touch one, harass one, or get within 50 feet. Federal charges, up to $50,000 and a year in prison. I watched a tourist jump off a kayak to swim with manatees in Crystal River. Rangers appeared out of nowhere. That photo op cost him more than his entire vacation. Then there's the stuff that'll hurt you back. Fire ant mounds look like regular dirt piles until you step on one. Thousands of ants delivering simultaneous burning stings. Cottonmouth snakes hang out near every pond and don't run away like normal snakes. They stand their ground and strike. But dangerous wildlife is just one problem. Most tourists also completely miss Florida's best natural attractions, and they're basically free. Florida has over 700 natural springs, crystal clear water sitting at 72 degrees year-round, and most cost $6 or less to enter. Yet tourists pack themselves onto crowded beaches like sardines while these exist. Makes no sense. Ginnie Springs has water so transparent you can see 100 feet down. Ichetucknee Springs offers lazy river tubing through jungle scenery. Rainbow Springs looks like something from a fantasy movie. I've been to Caribbean resorts that couldn't touch what these springs offer, and I paid a fraction of the price. Then there's Devil's Den, an underground spring inside an actual cave where you snorkel with fish in prehistoric-looking formations. It's basically swimming in a time machine for $38. But here's what trips people up. Most popular springs require reservations now. Show up without one during summer, and rangers will turn you away. No exceptions. Book through the Florida State Parks website weeks ahead or prepare for disappointment. One more thing. 72 degrees feels refreshing in August. In January, that water feels like ice cubes attacking your body. Bring a wetsuit unless you enjoy hypothermia. Now, speaking of places that seem great but aren't worth your money, Gatorland wants $35 to show you alligators in cages. Meanwhile, any free boat ramp in Florida has wild gators swimming around like they own the place. Because they do. Tourist traps have perfected the art of charging premium prices for mediocre experiences. Ripley's, believe it or not. You'll spend $60 for your family to see stuff you'll forget before reaching the parking lot. My uncle calls these places wallet vacuums with gift shops. Here's what locals actually do. Skip Clearwater Beach with its shoulder-to-shoulder crowds. Drive 20 minutes to Caladesi Island instead. Better sand, clearer water, and you can actually put your towel down without touching a stranger. Sawgrass Mills Mall advertises itself as some outlet paradise. It's mostly regular stores with fake original prices crossed out. The deals aren't deals, and those Orlando helicopter tours, $200 for 10 minutes of flying. You know what's free? Driving through rural Florida where the scenery is actually interesting and your feet stay on the ground. Kennedy Space Center charges $75 admission. But rocket launches? You can watch those from beaches nearby without paying a dime. Speaking of saving money, there's a timing mistake that costs tourists way more than they realize. Spring break means cheap Florida deals, right? Wrong. That's like saying Black Friday means empty stores. March and April are actually Florida's second busiest season. Only Christmas tops it. Hotels know this. They charge peak rates and often require 3 to 7 night minimums. That deal you found? It's probably the regular price from any other month. And the flights? Airlines aren't stupid. They track school calendars like hawks tracking mice. Expect to pay 200 to 300% more than you would in February or May. Same plane, same destination. Just worse timing. Now let's talk about the actual experience. Panama City Beach, Miami Beach, Daytona. These places transform into outdoor nightclubs. Every restaurant needs reservations weeks ahead. Or you're waiting 3 hours for mediocre nachos. Theme parks hit maximum capacity. I'm talking 3-hour waits for a 4-minute ride. Some parks close entry by 11 a.m. because they're literally full. Here's the secret nobody mentions. Visit in May or September instead. Weather is identical. Prices drop 40 to 50%. Crowds, 70% smaller. But speaking of saving money, most tourists have no idea about the discount program sitting right in front of them. Look, I get it. Nobody wants to spend hours hunting for discounts. But here's the thing. Skipping this step is like leaving cash on the sidewalk. CityPass bundles 5 major Orlando attractions for around $150. Buying separately, that's $350 or more. You just saved $200 by spending 10 minutes on a website. Go CityPasses work the same magic for Miami and Key West. Visit 3 attractions. Save 40%. My uncle called it free money with extra steps. He wasn't wrong. Already have Publishijal. That $60 membership pays for itself after 2 uses in Florida. Theme parks, hotels, restaurants, they all take it. Military folks, listen up. SeaWorld is completely free for active and retired service members. Disney offers 40% off. Universal has deals too. Thank you for your service. Now go enjoy some roller coasters. And here's the math nobody does. Annual passes at theme parks often cost less than 4-day tickets. If you're staying 5+ days, you might actually save money buying the whole year. But discounts mean nothing if one emergency wipes out your entire vacation budget. Which brings us to something most tourists skip entirely. Here's something nobody wants to think about until it's too late. Hurricane season runs 6 months every year. That's half the calendar where your entire Florida vacation could vanish overnight. And your airline, your hotel, they don't care about your sob story. Travel insurance for a $2,000 trip costs $50 to $150. Sounds like a waste until a Category 4 hurricane parks itself over Orlando, and suddenly your non-refundable Disney tickets become expensive souvenirs. But hurricanes aren't the only problem. Summer thunderstorms cancel flights daily. Medical emergencies happen when you least expect them. My buddy broke his ankle at Universal and discovered his regular health insurance covered basically nothing out of state. That emergency room bill, $4,000. Travel insurance would have been $60. The coverage includes hotel stays during flight delays, lost luggage replacement, even trip interruption if grandma gets sick back home. And here's the kicker. Most comprehensive policies run about 5 to 7% of your total trip cost. That's basically the price of one overpriced theme park meal. Worth it? Absolutely. But even with perfect insurance, there's one mistake that can ruin everything before you even arrive. Here's the thing about Airbnb in Florida. Thousands of listings are completely illegal. No license, no inspections, no accountability. That suspiciously cheap condo in Miami probably sits in a neighborhood where you don't want to walk outside after sunset. The photos look great because they're stolen from a completely different property. I've seen tourists arrive at their luxury beachfront villa only to find a rundown apartment building 3 miles from any beach. Florida condos present another headache. Many buildings straight up ban short-term rentals. So you book, you pay, you show up, and security tells you to leave. Good luck getting that refund. The scam goes deeper though. Brand new listings with 5 perfect reviews that all say the same generic things. Red flag the size of Texas. Real reviews mention specifics. The noisy AC, the tricky parking situation, the neighbor's dog that barks at 6 a.m. Always verify the exact address on Google Maps. Check Street View. Read reviews from the past 3 months specifically. And stick with superhosts who have dozens of detailed reviews. It's not glamorous advice, but neither is sleeping in your rental car because you got swindled. Now get out there and enjoy Florida the smart way.